Welcome to the show. I am your host, Suzanne Monk, host of the original all-live Periscope cast about Donald Trump. Trump Talk US. Welcome to the show. Sorry I'm running a little bit late, you guys. Started at 10:30. I had to do extra notes. There's a lot going on in the news, and I wanted to make sure I had all of that written down and tried to gather as much as I could because there's a lot going on. So I'm going to just kind of hit it and talk about some stuff, and people will chime in, and we'll go from there. First off, there's a couple of really big speeches coming. As you know, Donald Trump, everybody keeps talking about, is he going to talk about immigration? What's his immigration plan? Is he going to talk about, he's spending a lot of time talking about the inner cities. What is his plan there? How is he going to affect crime or help crime? Everybody's accusing him of not having specifics, not saying the specifics. Well, he has speeches scheduled for both of those things, both coming up. The speech in Phoenix is going to be about immigration. He's going to be doing a speech very soon, I think Saturday. He's not on the schedule on donaldjtrump.com/schedule yet, but I'm sure will be soon. It's reported to be on Saturday in Detroit, talking about inner city crime and what we need to do there. So those speeches are scheduled, you guys. All of this hubbubaloo of getting the news to talk about, whoa, why does Donald Trump keep hinting at stuff and not tell us the whole thing, is to get them to promote his speeches. And he's doing a great job this week at getting the news to talk about what he's going to be talking about and set him up to deliver a great speech and a great set of policies, which he will, because that's the guy we've got. So, in addition to that, as we talked about last night, Donald Trump is winning. There has been a race. Well, that's ridiculous. We're going to talk about that because there's this false impression that maybe some people like this, some maybe fake trolls, I don't know what they are, people who express some idea that Donald Trump is racist, and they keep presenting all kinds of things. The left loves to do it. The latest thing is David Duke, who is running for office, is sent out a bunch of robocalls telling everybody to vote for Trump, which the Trump campaign immediately and repeatedly disavowed, which of course they will bring up over and over. No matter how many times he disavows, they will bring it up over and over and over. And so, you have to start wondering when other members of the Klan are actually endorsing Hillary. You have to start wondering. David Duke is actually not a alleged member, and I know everybody considers his history damaging, as do I. But it does make you wonder, why this keeps coming up. Just saying. Are you talking about my Trump banner right here? You can get them on Amazon. I got mine on Amazon. It was like $7, plus some shipping. Totally inexpensive. They're not. I don't think they have them on the Trump campaign. Frankly, I recommend if you can get anything you can get from Trump stuff, get from the Trump campaign. That's the stuff that's actually made in America, so it's not the knockoff stuff that Trump gets accused of making. But I don't think they have the banner. I think you have to get it on Amazon. That's where I got mine. So it is what it is. So let's talk about, when you get the stuff, when you buy stuff on donaldjtrump.com, you're actually making a donation as well. That Trump funded most of his beginning campaign on sales of hats and signs and stuff. Yeah, he literally funded most of his campaign on the revenue from that. So, let's talk a little bit about Donald Trump and the African American community, because there's been a lot of discussion about Donald Trump as a racist, and we've seen there was a recent excellent rally, Operation Taco Bowl, out in Anaheim, Latinos for Trump getting together, demonstrating their support for Mr. Trump and for his policies on legal immigration and preventing illegal immigration, securing our border, bringing our jobs back. There are people of all races who support those things, including a great deal of African Americans. Interestingly enough, several interviews, as we talked about yesterday, from the Houston head of the Black Panthers supporting Donald Trump. Very interesting speeches from Louis Farrakhan. If you listen to his speeches on Donald Trump versus his speeches on Hillary Clinton, it becomes quite obvious he's not voting for Hillary Clinton. Additionally, more and more great interviews coming out from the Akron, Ohio rally. Many African Americans coming out speaking for Trump, coming away from the Democratic Party. Many authors, many advocates coming out on television. More and more and more, you're seeing it. And part of that has become because Donald Trump has taken the race war on. Hillary Clinton decided she was going to come out and call Donald Trump a bunch more crazy racists, call all of us alt-right, and we're all a bunch of white supremacists, which is why this little troll keeps, why people say crazy things and try to make it look like we're more racist when we're not. And that's, we all remember the picture of the black guy in the Klan outfit at the Trump rally, and then they took the picture, but the guy was black, and you're like, yeah, see, dude, you're here faking it, trying to make people look bad. We know how these things go. I mean, it's nothing other than obvious. And Donald Trump is taking it face on, and because of that, we are making great headway into the African American community. The narrative, if you've been watching the news, even on the news networks, the narrative has been this Democratic plantation, the idea of our blacks turning away from the Democratic Party. That's been a pervasive narrative throughout the news, even when they don't want it to be. So we are, in fact, leading the narrative now once again, particularly by taking the race war directly, by talking directly to the inner city, by Donald Trump making several open and direct pleas to the Latino and African American voter, openly claiming you have failed the Democratic Party has failed you so badly. What do you have to lose but to try something different? Try somebody who actually is trying to bring jobs, who has a different plan than what you've been trying for 50 years, with failure and greater poverty and greater crime and greater suffering. And I live in Chicago, so I know about the suffering. We had 10 people killed this weekend here in Chicago, and 57 wounded on top of that. So we know very well the problem, and it's what Donald Trump is going to be talking about in Detroit on Saturday. You should tune in if you have all these preconceptions about what Donald Trump is going to do for the inner city, and you got problems, and maybe just listen to him, and then you'll know what you have problems with, and you'll sound intelligent when you're bashing the man, rather than sounding like you're just a media sheep. So, let's talk a little bit about Hillary Clinton. Some problems in the Hillary Clinton campaign today, you guys. Some problems. New emails coming out showing even further connection in the State Department, with the State Department and the Clinton Foundation. And conveniently, you're such a horrible racist person. You really should work on that for yourself. I'm talking to, see, for those of you who are just watching the video in the future, this is Periscope, where I do the video at first, and people can comment. And sometimes people are, they comment random stuff, and yay, and sometimes they say, fuck Trump. That's very common. They're very clever. The one that's commenting now, the hater we have now is mind-numbingly pretending to be racist, and or is really racist, but is certainly way off base. So excuse me if every now and then I just kind of make a little comment to deflect. He'll probably just start ignoring. That's usually the best way to do that. So, and certainly because we got a lot to talk about, particularly because Hillary Clinton, many more emails showing connections between the Clinton Foundation and the State Department coming out, showing now even more direct connections with the actions of the State Department, with meetings set up through Clinton Foundation donors or with Clinton Foundation donors, and then resulting in actions after that. So, conveniently, also, Anthony Weiner seemed to get caught in another sexting scandal today. And so we're busy talking about Anthony Weiner, less about the emails, and how Huma is going to leave Anthony now. She's leaving him. It's this whole wonderful Jerry Springer drama, completely distracting everyone in the media from the fact that Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation, much through Huma, has lots further evidence or an indication of pay for play. Now, Donald Trump tweeted a few things about Huma, suggesting some problems with someone who has judgment of having. Why is she still with Anthony Weiner, and why is he taking pictures of himself with a boner with a child right next to him? It's absolutely absurd. No, Weiner is not as good as his philandering his bill. No, he's not. He's really bad at it. But I have to suspect that there might be a little bit of, hey, we're trying to draw the news. we're trying to draw attention to something that's not these emails that make everybody feel sorry for Huma because Donald Trump is hitting her. And so she continued to not be stopped. You know, hopefully we'll, the freezers or whatever it is that causes the freezing to happen won't come over and freeze us some more. But we're going to keep going. Everybody will come on back. So Huma breaking up right around the time we start questioning her relationship and what's going on there. So I feel like it's an interesting distraction, but we'll follow it in the news, of course. A few other things. You might have noticed these donate and win a chance for a dinner with Trump ads going on the internet. Donald Trump's campaign sent a cease and desist letter to the super PAC offering these dinner. There is no dinner. You can't. And I'm going to assume most smart people were. I'm sure most smart people were. We'll talk about the polls in a minute. I'm sure most smart people were already aware that was obviously going to be fake, but just for factual information and for news, the Donald Trump campaign has sent a cease and desist letter to the dinner with Trump. Don't give your money to dinner with Trump. Give your money. If you're going to donate to Donald Trump, go to donaldjtrump.com/donate. That's where you, should only be donating to Donald Trump. So let's talk about the rallies, and then haters will do some question and answer, and you can frame your complaints and issues in a question, and I'll answer them, and we'll actually have this thing called a discussion. Fun. It's fun for everybody. So let's talk about the rallies. Donald Trump will be in Everett, Washington on Tuesday, tomorrow, 7 p.m. On Wednesday, he will be giving his big immigration speech in Phoenix, Arizona at 6 p.m. That is Mountain Time. So calculate accordingly. If you cannot be there, you're not happen to be in Phoenix. If you can be there, let me give you some advice. Show up very early. Get your tickets in advance as quickly as possible. They can sell out. And do not bring anything with you you would not bring on a plane. The TSA does do security. I'm telling you that for a fact. So 6 p.m., Phoenix, Arizona. If you can't be there, or if you just cannot possibly remove the secure items and so you feel you need to mill about outside, whatever it is that you need to do with your life, what you can do is watch it on rsbn.tv. They don't give me any money. They don't even know who I am. I wish they did know who I am. They give me a show and I could talk about this in a much more larger audience. And I wouldn't have to listen to all these haters as much. That'd be like a co-host to chat back with the haters. Be nice, but it's just me out here. Nonetheless, they're still a great resource. That's why I keep telling them to you. rsbn.tv. That's where I get my replays. And I still got a lot to catch up on. Donald Trump's been speaking. Mike's been speaking. There's a lot going on. So, Wednesday, Phoenix, Arizona, 6 p.m. Immigration speech. Big, big, big speech. Watch it. Watch it. Thursday, Wilmington, Ohio, 12 p.m. noon. And, of course, I believe Saturday, that speech coming up in Detroit. We'll have more information as that comes onto the schedule. Mike Pence will be speaking in Dalton, Georgia at 3 p.m. on Tuesday. And in Winston-Salem, North Carolina at 8 p.m. on Tuesday. And he will be speaking on Wednesday in Sarasota, Florida at 2 p.m. Now let's just do a little quick few polls. LA Times poll recently came out. General election is in a tie. So, Gravis poll has Hillary Clinton only up by 1. These are both recent polls. There's a lot of mixed polls for Florida. There's a lot of mixed polls in general. Frankly, I wouldn't trust a lot of the polls, but I also don't believe everybody when they're telling you that all of the polls are bad, because that is also fake. So, at this point, if you have a question in the form of question word, question mark at the end, I would love to answer it. I just give a little moment. Sometimes I pretend there's music in my head here. So, do you see how they have plenty to say, but no questions to ask them? I just give people a little chance. Maybe they're just typing slow. You know, they're thinking very hard how to properly and politely phrase a question. Do I think Trump will save the world from globalism? Yeah, I do think that. I think that Donald Trump is going to prevent the Trans-Pacific Partnership from being signed. That will, in fact, interconnect the global economy in a way that is extremely dangerous and I think eventually can lead to ultimate economic collapse. I think individualism, individual liberty, all of those things will suffer under that collectivist world. And I think that without national sovereignty and individual borders that allow individual nations to protect laws like the Constitution, we literally will be forced to be governed by multinational corporations and what they are. They pay bureaucrats millions of miles, hundreds of miles, thousands of miles away to decide for us. So Donald Trump intends to stop that. Is that saving the world? Yeah, then maybe I do think that. So, what else you got? Did you hear that Trump will speak to a Black American audience in Detroit this coming Saturday? Yes, Donald Trump. Now, this is what's making me so damn. I'm glad you brought this up because this is making me so dang mad. What is the news talking about? Look, I went to a Trump rally myself. Okay, now Donald Trump did not manage to speak because crazy, violent mobs ruined our rally, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Okay, but if you go to a Trump, look at the video of the Akron, Ohio rally. He is not speaking to white audiences. These are not there are Black people, there are Latinos. There were Muslims, there were Arabs, there were all different kinds of people at the rally I was at. No, I don't think he's the second coming of Christ. I think that's insane. So, I'm so frustrated that they keep saying he's going to speak to a Black American. Well, he's been speaking to that a lot, okay? The idea that because there are white people when he's speaking to audiences about African American problems, there are also Black people there. And we're not dumb, you guys. You know, he's speaking to everyone who can see, who can watch the news. He's not just speaking to the people in that room, and we know it. So, yes, he's going to be speaking to a more overtly looking Black audience. I hope that makes everybody happy, but it's really annoyingly racist for them to ignore the fact that the audiences he is speaking to already are actually highly diverse. So what else you got? Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Trump has street cred. You know what? What's amazing? I was sitting. I think I told this story last night. I'm gonna tell it again today because I feel like we need to get the message out. I'm in Chicago, Mexican restaurant, lovely Latino couple sitting at the bar. News comes on. Trump comes on. The girl starts doing funny little Trump hand gestures, and I go, oh, this election. She's like, I know, it's so crazy. I don't even know what I'm gonna, what to do because and I'm like, yeah, Hillary, you can't vote for Hillary, and she's like, no, and and people have problems with Trump. She's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to do. Now, did I say Mexican restaurant, city of Chicago, Latino couple? Yeah, I'm having a normal election conversation. We're not talking about Trump's a racist because he's going to build a wall. We're not talking about all of this crap anymore. We're just having normal conversations. You know why? Because the race card has worn off, people. Hillary has just pushed it too far. She cried wolf too many times, and nobody's listening to that crap anymore. The only people who are listening to it are people who are already stuck up her booty already. So, many people, they're done with it. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. 70 days left in the election, which you would know that information here. I'll let the haters come up with more questions while they're doing that. You would know that if you had the new app. There's a new app, America First. You can get it on the Google Play. You can get it at the App Store, Apple App Store, whatever. I have Samsung, so I don't Apple, but others do, and you can get it there too. If you download the app, what read teacher is it? I'll let you for that. Yeah, I'll read the second. I got the gist of it. Hillary's for. Oh my gosh. I will say something about that, Deb. Some advice for people who are going back to work, and they're going to be back into a deep Hillary supporting mode. One, make sure you are getting, because I live in Chicago. It's so fun. We'll talk. It's totally fine, Deb, because I live in Chicago. We have the same thing. I can't talk about Trump in many places. So you have to find your outlets. Make sure you're getting that connection. Make sure you're connecting on social media, and then my suggestion is get yourself sometimes I have a little Trump necklace, And I'll wear it, but I'll wear it where you can't really see the necklace. So I know I'm Trump, but not everybody else needs to know I'm Trump. It just makes me feel a lot better. And it's 71 days. Start the countdown, boo. Because we're all going to have to fight the fight. That's not a question. So, yeah, I know. Oh, thank you, Deb. I'm glad. Yeah, it's fun. So let me continue. You can go America First, download the app. It's great because it totally helps you advocate, share information that Donald Trump has shared on his schedule, on Twitter, what he's tweeting about, so you know all these things that these people are like, oh, Donald Trump tweeted this horrible thing. You'll see exactly what he tweets. It's on the app. As well as let you connect with other Trump supporters in your area, which is great. A lot of different things. Let you gather points. Awesome, fun little app. Has a countdown, how many days until the election. All kinds of fun ways to help promote new ads Donald Trump puts out, all that. If you download the app, and many of my friends, all of you who have done this already, I adore you because you're helping me earn useless points to get useless ranking, which I love. So I really appreciate you helping this. Now, no, I do not think Trump is going to misuse a nuclear bomb. I'll answer that question in a second after I finish this. If you go on the app, and those of you who have done this, I love you so much. Use my invite code, XZ3J7. If you do that, I get points. I go up in ranking. Right now, I'm 4th Trumpiest person in Illinois. 4th. I want to be 3rd. That's why I keep doing that. But I'm actually only 4th. And I'm 57th nationwide. But that's just people who are... I'm sure there's Trumpier people. I'm not judging. There's really no judgment. It's pointless points. It means nothing. But it's very exciting to me personally. Because it certainly... And I think really getting the app will help you keep really informed. So, now... William, you had a question, though. You had a question about the nuclear bomb. I'm going to answer this because I think people keep saying this ridiculous thing. And now there's been, reporters saying that Donald Trump is a psychopath. And they're trying to do all of these things that they think will negate Donald Trump's worthiness and make people afraid of what he might do with the nuclear codes or with his finger on the button. It's absolutely the most ridiculous thing that anybody has ever heard. They claim that Donald Trump, because he might be criticized, he would use a nuclear bomb. Now, what's hilarious is Donald Trump has been the most criticized political candidate since my lifetime. In the campaign, he's been the most criticized. And all he has done in response is responded politically in political election debate and discussion about other people's flaws, whom were mentioning his flaws in brutal format. He's an effective, quote, counterpuncher, but he didn't go around hitting people. He didn't go around burning their houses. And he's certainly not going to nuke somebody because they didn't like his hair. It's just this leftist crazy myth. They want to do whatever they can to instill fear. You all are running a campaign of fear. You are the fear mongers you say Donald Trump is. You want everybody to be afraid that this crazy individual who wasn't in politics, so what does he know? He could just do anything. He might be dangerous. You want us to believe that the only outsider is the danger. When a known lying criminal who is overtly being discovered daily to have committed acts of pay-for-play to be selling the State Department of the United States of America out to the highest foreign bidder, and you are worried to me because Donald Trump said Ted Cruz was a liar when he was. You might want to look back at every insult Donald Trump gave everybody. I haven't seen one that wasn't true. So, that's just how the media wants to keep spinning it, booze. And that's just the facts of the matter. Let's do my Trump reason of the day. This will take you off. This will take you little haters off. I know. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Trump reason of the day. My Trump reason of the day. World peace. Yeah. The only candidate on this docket that's going to create a reduced military presence by the United States in the world, is going to reduce global conflict, is going to take the appropriate actions to reduce the conflict being purported on us, the only candidate who's going to do that is one Donald J. Trump. Donald Trump does not believe in occupying other countries. He does not believe in nation building. He does not believe in invading places and staying there for decades. He doesn't believe in that. That's not his philosophy. His philosophy is to destroy our enemy and go home. His philosophy is to provide the defensive and security services we agree to with our allied nations, but to be properly compensated for that. His philosophy is to ensure that our agreements that we've made, you guys are crazy. His philosophy is to ensure that the agreements we've made with other nations to ensure the security of the planet are lived up to, not merely by us, but by all parties involved. That's his philosophy. It's just much sounder than the philosophy of Hillary Clinton, who was, by the way, responsible for the collapse of Libya, for the collapse of Egypt, and the ongoing collapse of Syria as we see it, because it is the policies of Obama and the Hillary Clinton State Department and the continuation of her State Department under John Kerry that led to basically the undermining of stable but dictatorial governments for radical Islamic tribal states. It's really tragic what's happened to the nation of Egypt, which was a once great and beautiful nation that many artifacts destroyed. It's tragic. We're not even looking at it. No one's paying attention to it because we're too busy talking about did Donald Trump try his shoes the right way, or how many babies did he kick out today, or is he a psychopath, or was his father in the Klan, or how many times did David Duke say he likes him? That's great. What we're not talking about is what Hillary Clinton did to Haiti, what Hillary Clinton did to Libya, what Hillary Clinton did to Egypt, what Hillary Clinton is doing to Syria, and her party and the people who support her is doing to Syria, and on and on and on. It is what it is, people. If you want world peace, if you want anything close to that, you're going to need Donald J. Trump. I think, this is a good question, I'll answer that. Do I think John McCain is a hero? I think John McCain was a hero. I think he did very heroic things in his youth. I think that he then came home and spent a long life in politics that has very mixed results and very interesting mixed actions. And I know because I studied his campaign, his voting history very thoroughly in the 2008 election when I voted for him. Very thoroughly. I spent 56 man-hours studying the voting history of one John McCain. So I know a great deal about John McCain. And what I can say for John McCain is that as a young man, he did some very potentially heroic things. And I don't know as much of the story because I wasn't there. And we all have, there's always some information on both sides of the story. I'm not going to believe all the conspiracy theories, but I know in fact that he did do some very heroic things as a young man. But he also has a history as a senator. And when you put your ring in the hat and you start insulting your opponent or insulting one of the candidates in your own party, you might get insulted back, and then everyone wants to. It's not. We're not living in a world where you can never criticize someone just because of something they did when they were in their 20s. That's great. You did something great in your 20s, but you live on. That's my opinion. Yeah. No, Bonesburg. That's great. I appreciate what he did. I appreciate that, but that you still get to be able to be judged for what you have done in all of your life, not just one shining moment. We're literally not ever any one moment in our lives. We are a culmination of all of the moments in our lives. And frankly, he spent a lot more time in the Senate not doing what needed to be done for many policies, and I've looked, than he spent in the actions that we give him heroic credit for. So I while I respect and honor his surface, when you start throwing insults, you bring yourself into the game. You know, you just do. It is what it is. So, and he's been a senator a lot longer. So, you get criticized for everything you do. So, What are Trump's biggest shining moments? See, this is what's great about Donald Trump is that he has a long history of many different successes, mild, moderate, in the face of difficulty, comeback, struggle, revival, self-improvement. He's been divorced publicly. He's been humiliated many, many times, and yet he's had a lifetime of success. He has many different successful companies, successful buildings, successful resorts. He's kept going through all of that. I mean, I feel like anybody who doesn't already know that, either you were just literally born recently and you missed the 80s and 90s, or you just never accidentally turned on Inside Edition or any of the other Entertainment Tonight or watched the news ever. During the whole vast Trump divorce, Trump collapse, and because we've been talking about this man for a long time, so we know what his successes are, including The Apprentice, which frankly is a very successful show, and is the reason we know a lot more about him than we did before, because we got to see him much more up close. So it is what it is. The haters are never going to find those successes enough because they think that a woman who literally has sold government favors is better because she's been in politics her whole life than a businessman who takes time out of his multi-million-dollar business to try to help fix some of the problems of the country. It's weird. They're very weird people. I don't understand you guys. I'm voting for Trump. So that is what it is. Let's do hotties, you guys. I got a good one. I had a debate with myself. I said to myself, do I want to pick like a good, wholesome, cute, looking very modest, American girl, or do I want like some beach bikini, summer blonde, just really go for the wow factor? And I admit I went with the second one. So let's pull that up. Let's pull that up right here. Here we go. This is our Trump hottie of the day. It is what it is. It is what it is. See, she's got her Trump hat on, which is great. Just make America great again. I think she's really going to make America great again. Because she is living the life. She's living the dream. This girl is living the dream. I'm like, that's already too much. I'm going to put that on the page, you guys. You're going to have to look at that for yourselves. I don't want anybody getting in trouble at home, just getting a little glimpse of Trump hotties. So that's enough for everybody. But, in fact, a little zazzy. So, haters, fans, friends, everybody that has been with the show, that I love you guys so much. Thanks for sticking with me. This is episode 88. If you haven't followed me already, I am the Trumpetarian on Twitter. You can email the show, trumptalkus@gmail.com. You can see all of our back episodes on our YouTube page, www.trumptalk.us. A bunch of great special editions that talk about the individual policies. Everyone's always talking about Diz, Donald Trump. Have any specifics? Yes. And we've talked about it, and it's on the special edition. So, and if you go down and download the app, use my code XZ3J7. I will super love you the most. You'll be my favorite people in the whole world. And who doesn't want that? Let's just share the Trump love. So that's our show. We have 70 days, people. 70 days. So we got to keep trumping as hard as we can trump. Trump to the utmost. Keep letting people know. Keep talking to your friends, family, co-workers, people online. Keep sharing the Hillary facts. And keep talking. Watch these speeches and share these speeches coming up, because there's going to be some great information that Donald Trump is making, great policy statements, and that's what everybody's looking for. Get people ready for the debates. They're coming. It's going to be an awesome fall, you guys. Have a great night.